Hello, welcome. This is Cook's War Strategy Gaming. Welcome back, or if this is a first time that you've seen one of the Grand Tactician, the Civil War videos, welcome to the video. I hope you enjoy. This is episode 12. We explore the core system after the Confederate Army has finally researched Military Act 2 in their policies. And we will go through some Army reorganizations, creating actual armies with independent corps using the core system, and a possible Maryland campaign. All that and more in Grand Tactician, the Civil War. So we have recently researched the Research Military 2, allowing us to research the core structure. So that is what we're going to do, starting with the Army of Kentucky. So it looks like what we need to do is recruit a new army. Now we could do the Army of Mississippi, or we can rename it. We're actually going to call it the Army of the West. Army of the West. Now, we want Albert Johnson to be in command of this army. So what we need to do is transfer him to that army. See, now it works kind of backwards. We got to actually transfer Johnston to the Army of the West. And then, so now we can remove Beauregard. Actually, we should remove Johnston first. So we need this will be a new corps. This is where maybe we can put Hood in charge. I'm thinking that might be a good idea. So we're going to assign Hood to the corps command. We're going to replace Beauregard with Johnston, and then we should be able to create a new corps and a new group. Okay, so we have a new corps, and we can add, that's interesting. Why is that 4 days? Okay, Loring's division will take 4 days. Where's Beauregard? Maybe we don't want to do that? Oh, of course. Of course. So we'll have to, Alright. So this is kind of a little bit cumbersome there. Now, we want Johnston to march back towards Columbus. I think we want to attach McCulloch too. Alright, so let's transfer McCulloch. So Hood and McCulloch. So that brings the total army strength to 45,000. I think that's actually good right now. Oh, McCulloch has been defamed. Do we want to replace McCulloch while we have the opportunity? I think Price might get the nod here. Yep, we're going to replace. So we need a new division commander. Maybe D.H. Hill can take over that role. We've got Hood and Hill over here in the Western Army. And then now we will put Sterling Price as the corps commander. Oh, that's funny. They still... Army of the West. You still have the Army of Kentucky... and the Western Army. Do we rename them First and Second Corps? Why not? Or how about, do we name the corps after the general? Gives a little bit more flavor. Hood's Corps. Price's Corps. Should I put the apostrophe when I'm naming the corps? We'll leave it alone. Alright, so Hood is regaining some supplies and ammunition. Now, his readiness dropped quite a bit. I think Johnston was still like in the yellow readiness. I just noticed that. Not 100% sure about that, but... Alright, Zollicoffer is back. I wonder if we make a smaller sized army. Army of Missouri. Now, he's corps size. That's fine. He's an independent corps. He's unattached corps. For now. We might make an Army of Missouri. So the Federals really establishing themselves here in southern Illinois and southeast Missouri. All right, our first full-sized army has been established. Why don't we do the same with the Army of Northern Virginia? So we had to recruit new army. I wonder if there's a different way. I mean, we could give Beauregard the overall command of Army of Northern Virginia, and then assign Lee as a corps commander and Johnston. We could. All right, so let's transfer. Okay, we'll transfer Lee to Beauregard, and then same thing with Joe Johnston. So Beauregard gets the field command he has always wanted, and we do need to have him join the Army of Northern Virginia. We're gonna call this Lee's Corps. And you have Johnston's Corps. While we're in here, let's take a look at the commanders. Ooh, Ewell's getting a lot of fame. Cautious, distinguished, mediocre administrator. Predictable, but his stats are rising. Same thing with Gideon Pillow. Clayton, not so much, although he has a rising star. Preston's even getting a lot of accolades. See, George Stewart, though, is defamed. We might need to replace him. Let's see if there's anyone in the wings waiting, looking for a cavalry commander. You got Nathan Forrest waiting there. That's why don't we assign Forrest to that position? Pretty mediocre stats for such a feared general. Ransom Jr. is famous, gaining some popularity, but his overall stats are not overly impressive. Jackson's in the waiting to become a next corps commander. We should probably not forget that. Joe Johnston doing well, so leadership in the Army of Northern Virginia looking solid. All right, so we have our corps in place. Wanted to do something else with policies. So since there seems to be a little bit of a lull, we have pushed out the Union Army in the east. They are reeling. We are not going to invade the North all willy-nilly in the east. We're going to conserve our manpower there, while we are going to try to increase industry spending and agriculture spending. We are not going to do a lot of recruiting. We're going to see how that impacts our finances. We're going to send Mitchell's squadron to port. We're going to send the New Orleans squadron up to Memphis. So we have a couple ships in harbor, the Virginia steam frigate Fulton and the CSS Washington. That seems to be completed. Why don't we add her to the New Orleans squadron? Actually, no, we cannot. This is a sailing ship, sea movement only. Why don't we add her to the North Carolina squadron? We're going to send the Fulton to the New Orleans squadron. So the goal here is really to concentrate on the Mississippi. So we want river movement capability. I mean, we could try to build a bunch of these smaller tender gunboats. 2 guns, 5 guns, 4th rate steamer. Or go with a few number of heavier 2nd rate steamers. Well, let's build one of those. See Lee's at destination. You can see the corps names show up now on the map. Pretty cool. Now one wonders if maybe we should strike at Frederick, Maryland and cut off the Maryland Panhandle from Baltimore and Washington. Now that does kind of expose our right flank, which historically, having both Lee's corps of this size and Johnston's corps of this size in the Shenandoah would be a big no-no by Jefferson Davis. Well, actually, kind of contradict myself, because historically that is what happened. Lee went through the Shenandoah to invade the North, so I don't know what I'm talking about. Johnston's corps will build a depot around Winchester as well. So yeah, we want to kind of build some depots throughout the valley here. I keep a close eye on this credit rating since it's fallen down to triple B. Increase spending on infrastructure quite a bit, hoping that pays off in the long run. It is kind of cool too. You notice here that the command range is affected by the terrain. So Zollicoffer also built a depot here at Fredericton. Seems like Nell's squadron is kind of caught. I wonder if I can I move him down? Right now she's moving. So ordered her to return to port, but she did not seem to be responding to that. So we'll send her back to Memphis for now. So we're about to enter October, and I am debating on whether or not we make a last-ditch fall campaign. And I feel like our best bet is to do that. Maybe we need to make sure that Kentucky is secure. Maybe we use this time to move on Hartford, Kentucky. It looks like the Union has a plantation. We can also be building telegraph lines and improving our infrastructure and get ready for the next campaigning season. Confederates have a slight advantage. Now we are definitely almost outnumbered 2-1 now. Military experience is on the side of the Union all of a sudden. I don't know if that has something to do with the bonus settings. Alright, Magruder is at Newmarket. Union printing notes. Inflation expected to soar. Let's give orders for Magruder to fortify the Shenandoah Valley with supplies. See the condition of our two corps here under the Army of Northern Virginia. So 32,000 men. Army of Potomac is down to 16,000. Pennsylvania, 14,000. It looks like a fall invasion might be in order. We'll start with Lee's Corps. We're going to try to hit Frederick. So raid. If we raid, burn down enemy infrastructure and forage all supplies the troopers can carry. When raiding, troops in this unit will skirmish with all enemies within range. Raiding will hit the population hard, and this will have an effect on their support, lowering it for both the attacker and the defender. Raiding it is. We need to move out Johnston too. Johnston will keep an eye on the Army of the Potomac. Alright, so skirmishing, suffering 116 casualties. You see a billow of smoke as we enter across Harper's Ferry, across the Potomac. Unit routed. Is that our unit or the Army of Potomac? As you see, so one Confederate invasion, Lee's Corps, 22,000. One raid. So it keeps saying unit routed. It doesn't look like our units are routing. So I'm wondering if it's the Army of Potomac. Oh, they're down to 11,000 in strength. So Lee's savaging Maryland and the Army of Potomac. Alright, so supplies though are starting to dwindle. Alright, we're going to take off the raiding and try to capture Frederick, Maryland. A new army looks like they have formed. Almost 20,000 men in Maryland. Things might get real interesting now that we're wedged in between the Army of Potomac and the Army of Northeastern Virginia. So, Beauregard's Maryland campaign off to a good start. 5 days into it. See, Sterling Price's corps might be ready to march out. We've got the depot there. Why don't we head towards Hopkinsville? Now we could try to devise a situation where if we can build up central Kentucky as a launch pad and head to Evansville and then slide into southern Illinois and try to cut off the Federals in Cairo. Now again, that's dependent on if the Federals stay there and not want to advance into Missouri. Let's head back east to see the developments there. Still, Beauregard keeping an eye on the Federal forces there. So Lee busy capturing Frederick. No response from the Union, though. Alright, so Frederick is in Confederate hands. Let's zoom out and take a look at the front line situation. You can see the little red going into Maryland there, including a depot there. Now here's things will get tricky because the deeper we go, the more exposed we become. Let's see, the Army of Northeastern Virginia, about 19,000 strong. Now we could strike at the Army of Potomac, who is badly hurt. I think that's what we're going to do. Defeat in detail. I don't think we need to capture Washington, or at least not right now, if we can keep defeating their armies on the field. So Lee's going to strike at the Army of Potomac at Hagerstown. Now Johnston has lost contact with Lee, so why don't we move him up, and we'll move up Johnston as well, so that they can partake in this battle. Why isn't Johnston moving? All right, Johnston finally on the move. So October 12th now. Oh, the Army of Potomac was like, uh-oh, we got to get out of here. Lee in hot pursuit of the Army of Potomac. They're suffering all kinds of casualties. Army of Potomac has slipped away. Oh. But Hagerstown is ours. It looks like we captured a depot here at, is that Gettysburg? All right, we're going to upgrade the depot at Harper's Ferry. Let's head back west. All right, prices at Hopkinsville. And we are going to build a depot here. So Maryland's support for the Confederacy is at a 93%. So Price is on his own. He is not in command range. But they are connected by telegraph lines. So Army of Potomac is reeling. I've lost sight of the Department of Pennsylvania, though. So the small contingent under Porterfield, not a lot going on in Western Virginia. Should Lee press on towards the Cumberland Gap? Why don't we do that? We're going to have to hold Johnston back, though. We don't want to go too deep. And then we still have the Army of Northeastern Virginia to worry about. If they invade south, then we might be in trouble. We'll have to quickly move south. Apparently, I ordered Johnston to move towards Cumberland, not Lee. It's not really what I wanted to do. So Confederacy impressing supplies and slaves to free white to fight. Support among slave holders plummets. So the Impressment Act is active. We can also now research King Cotton. We are going to end things right here, and in the next episode we'll see what the Union response to the Army of Beauregard taking the Cumberland Gap. We'll see how they respond, and more as we head into the winter of 1861 and on to 1862. Hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.